Have you ever noticed how social anxiety acts like that one friend who ruins every chill moment for no reason? You're just standing somewhere, existing peacefully, and your brain whispers, "Hey, quick question. Why are your arms doing that?" Suddenly, you're hyper-aware of every movement, like you're controlling a character in a video game for the first time. And the best part? Your brain thinks it's helping. You try to say hi, and it's like, careful, one wrong syllable, and we'll die socially. It's hilarious, because logically you know nothing bad is happening. Yet your mind behaves like you're being chased by judgmental wolves. Let's unpack that nonsense. If you're watching this video, there's a pretty solid chance you've lived through at least one social situation that made you question your entire existence. You know the ones, where you're physically present, but mentally, you're auditioning for the role of person who knows how to behave. Maybe you walk into a room and immediately think, okay, what do I do with my face? What's my neutral face? Do I look rude? Do I look sad? Do I look like someone who hasn't slept since 2014? Or maybe you're in a group conversation where everyone's talking naturally, and you're just waiting for your turn like it's a high-stakes chess game. Someone says something funny, everyone laughs, and you laugh half a second late because you were busy analyzing the joke instead of enjoying it. Now you're convinced everyone noticed your weird delay. Spoiler, they didn't. Then there's the post-conversation replay, the classic. You'll lie in bed, ready to sleep, and your brain's like, hey, remember that thing you said 3 hours ago? Yeah, let's review that 27 times. Or maybe you avoid social situations altogether because the prep work feels like emotional homework. You rehearse your hello. You rehearse your walk. You even rehearse how you'll hold your drink like you're practicing for a beverage Olympics. And the funniest or saddest part, people around you think you're quiet or shy, when in reality, you're just busy preventing imaginary disasters. You're not antisocial. You're just tired of negotiating with your own brain before every interaction. If any of this sounds familiar, this section was basically written for you. You're understood here. Completely. Let's talk about the biggest mistake almost everyone makes with social anxiety. And honestly, it's kind of hilarious when you think about it. We try to solve social anxiety by thinking even harder. Yes, because clearly, the brain that's already panicking needs more mental chaos. Genius. It's like your mind is drowning, and your solution is, have you tried drowning faster? Most people genuinely believe that if they prepare enough, rehearse enough, predict enough, they'll magically become smooth, charismatic social creatures. So before a simple conversation, they start running full simulations in their head. What will I say? What will they say? What if I say something weird? What if they think I'm boring? What if I breathe wrong? By the time you finally speak, your brain has aged 10 years. You become a walking strategy meeting. Every sentence is pre-approved by 3 internal departments: anxiety, overthinking, and worst-case scenario management. And here's the juicy part. All that effort makes you more awkward. You start lagging in conversations like you're experiencing Wi-Fi problems in your own brain. Someone cracks a joke and the whole room laughs. Meanwhile, you're still processing it like, ah yes, humor. I too enjoy the jokes. Congratulations, you now sound like an alien studying human behavior. Or you try to act natural. There is nothing more unnatural than trying to be natural. Your smile becomes suspicious. Your posture? Stiff enough to be used as a coat rack. Your laugh? Sounds like you're glitching. The world's worst advice then shows up. Just relax. Stop worrying. Be confident. Oh wow. Revolutionary. Why didn't we think of that? Next they'll tell us to just be taller or stop being human. Here's the truth. Overthinking feels productive, but it's actually a trap. It convinces you that if you think enough, you can avoid embarrassment, when in reality, overthinking creates the embarrassment you're trying to avoid. It's like trying to drive by staring at the engine instead of the road. Looks intense, feels important, helps absolutely nothing. This mistake keeps millions stuck. But you won't stay stuck, because you're about to learn what actually works. Here's the thing nobody really says out loud. Social anxiety isn't actually about people, or conversations, or what someone might think of your shirt. It's about you wanting to feel safe being yourself. Deep down, you're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to avoid that awful feeling of being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. You want to feel like you belong without having to perform for it. You want to talk without rehearsing, laugh without analyzing, and show up without feeling like you're on trial. Underneath every overthinking spiral, there's a simple desire. I want to feel free around people. Not perfect, not flawless, just free. Free to make a small mistake without spiraling. Free to not have the perfect answer. Free to exist without a mental committee evaluating your every move. That's the real goal, not confidence in the loud, superhero sense, but confidence in the quiet, peaceful sense. Being comfortable enough to stop performing and just be. And once you understand that, the entire approach to social anxiety changes. Because the goal isn't perfection, it's permission. Permission to be human. Here's the part most people never hear. The truth that flips the entire experience of social anxiety on its head. Social anxiety isn't a confidence problem. It's a self-trust problem. Think about it. If you trusted yourself, trusted your words, your instincts, your ability to handle awkward moments, you wouldn't feel the need to overthink every tiny detail. You wouldn't mentally rehearse conversations like you're auditioning for a movie you didn't even want to be in. You wouldn't analyze someone's facial expression like you're decoding a secret government message. Confidence is the symptom. Self-trust is the cause. And the moment you start seeing it this way, everything shifts. Because right now, your brain doesn't believe you can handle discomfort. It doesn't believe you can recover from a weird moment, or a silence, or someone misinterpreting what you said. So it tries to pre-solve every possible problem in advance. That's why social anxiety feels like this constant job interview with life. You're always preparing, predicting, perfecting, adjusting, controlling. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The more you try to control social interactions, the more out of control you feel. The brain becomes your overprotective bodyguard. And like every overprotective bodyguard, it ruins everything. It tells you, don't say that. It might sound stupid. Don't start the conversation. They'll think you're annoying. Don't be too quiet. You look distant. Don't be too talkative. You look desperate. It's hilarious, really. Your brain gives you contradictory instructions faster than a malfunctioning GPS. In 200 meters, turn right. Recalculating. Actually, stay left. No, wait. Turn around. Actually, never mind. Just stay home. But here's the core insight. Your brain is not the enemy. It is simply operating with the wrong data. It thinks social interactions are actual threats, like lions, fires, or unpaid electricity bills. It does not realize you're just trying to say hi. This is why advice like just relax or stop caring what people think never works. You can't relax your way out of a nervous system that feels threatened. You can't rationalize your way out of a body that's in survival mode. So the real question becomes, how do you teach your brain that social situations are safe? Not safe because you said the perfect thing. Not safe because nobody judged you. But safe because you can handle whatever happens. That's where self-trust enters. Self-trust means, I don't need everything to go perfectly because I can handle it even if it doesn't. This is the foundation of true confidence, not the loud, extroverted, motivational speaker version. I'm talking about the calm, quiet, grounded kind. The kind where you don't have to think 50 steps ahead because you trust yourself to handle step 1. Imagine two people walking into a room. Person A is confident because they believe nothing bad will happen. Person B is confident because they believe even if something weird happens, I'll be okay. Person A collapses the moment something goes wrong. Person B doesn't. Person B is the one who seems effortlessly comfortable, not because life is perfect, but because their stability comes from within. Social anxiety makes you chase person A's version of confidence. Real freedom comes from person B's. And here's the wild part. Self-trust isn't built through thinking. It's built through experience. You don't learn to swim by reading about water. You learn by getting in the pool, slowly, safely, and letting your nervous system gather new evidence. The same applies to social freedom. Right now, your nervous system is working with old evidence. A few embarrassing moments, some childhood situations, a handful of memories, a couple harsh comments, maybe 1 or 2 painful social experiences. Your brain took those moments, stamped them as danger, and calls it a personality. But personalities are just practice patterns, and patterns can change. The moment you start teaching your brain that discomfort does not equal danger, everything unlocks. This is where the core principle comes in, the heartbeat of the whole transformation. You don't overcome social anxiety by avoiding awkward moments. You overcome it by surviving them. And by survive, I don't mean suffering through them. I mean realizing afterwards, oh, that wasn't the end of the world. I handled it. Every time that happens, your brain updates. Every awkward moment you navigate becomes a tiny deposit in your self-trust bank. Every imperfect conversation becomes new evidence that you're capable. Every silence you don't panic and becomes proof that you're safe. And slowly, sometimes invisibly, your nervous system stops interpreting people as threats. That's when you start speaking naturally. That's when you stop rehearsing. That's when conversations stop feeling like battles and start feeling like human moments again. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You don't need to be better at talking. You need to be better at not panicking when things aren't perfect. That's the real skill, the real power, the real breakthrough. Once you build self-trust, even a little, the world becomes lighter. You stop performing and start participating. You stop observing life from the outside and start stepping into it. This is the core insight. Freedom doesn't come from controlling the situation. It comes from trusting yourself in the situation. And that's what we're going to build next. All right, picture this. You're at a friend's birthday party, not a close friend, not a stranger, just that awkward middle category. I like them, but not enough to act normal yet. You walk in, and immediately your brain switches to full NASA launch mode. Every step feels like a decision. Where do you stand? Who do you greet first? Why are your hands suddenly confused about their career path? You spot someone pouring juice and think, okay, great, I'll casually walk over there. But as you start walking, your brain whispers, wait, what if they think you're only here for the juice? Should you smile? No, not like that. You look like a malfunctioning toaster. You finally reach the table, and the person pouring juice walks away. Now it just looks like you made a dramatic entrance for orange juice. Amazing. You're standing there pretending to evaluate cup sizes like it's the most important decision of your life. Behind you, two people start laughing at their own conversation, and your brain instantly goes, they're laughing at you. Great. You're the entertainment now. Still, you gather courage and decide to join a small group talking about movies. You walk up, wait for a gap, and say something like, yeah, I think the second movie was, definitely more movie-ish. They smile politely. You instantly regret being alive. 5 minutes later, you replay that one sentence 17 times in your head and conclude you should move to another country. So you relocate to the safest place in every social event, the food table, the only place where silence is socially acceptable. Someone walks over and says, hey, I like your shoes. A normal human would say thanks. You, however, respond with, oh yeah, I got them for feet. I have feet. Shoes are for feet. Huh, you want to explode. But here's the plot twist your anxious brain never acknowledges. The person who complimented you, they didn't think it was weird. They didn't go home and tell a 27-minute story about that one person who said shoes are for feet. They just laughed, continued their evening, and forgot about it entirely. Meanwhile, you're in the corner conducting a full psychological autopsy of every single moment. This is the gap we're fixing. Not the events, the interpretations. Not your humor, your self-trust. Not reality, your relationship with discomfort. All right, so now that we've exposed social anxiety's favorite magic tricks, let's talk about what you can actually do today, not someday in the future when you've achieved enlightenment and can levitate through conversations. Today, with your regular, slightly chaotic human brain. Step 1. Practice micro-discomfort. Don't start with give a speech to 200 people. Start with tiny, harmless, low-stakes moments. Make small talk with a cashier. Say hi to someone you usually avoid eye contact with. Ask a simple question in class or at work. Your nervous system learns through exposure, not imagination. Each micro-moment is one coin dropped into your self-trust wallet. Step 2. Allow imperfection on purpose. This sounds illegal, but it works. Say something slightly awkward and let it exist. Don't fix it. Don't over-explain. Don't self-bully. This trains your brain to stop equating awkward with emergency. It's social weightlifting. Step 3. Switch from performance mode to participation mode. Performance mode equals, how do I look? Am I being impressive? Am I being judged? Participation mode equals, I'm just here to interact, not to win an award. Ask one curious question. Share one small thought. That's it. Participation is the antidote to overthinking. Step 4. Pre-choose your self-talk. Before entering a social situation, have one sentence ready. Something neutral and grounding like, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to show up. This interrupts the panic spiral before it forms. Step 5. Celebrate the aftermath, not the outcome. You said something weird? Great. You survived. That's the win. The goal isn't flawless execution, it's nervous system retraining. Journal it. Acknowledge it. Build your receipts. When you treat each social moment as practice, not proof, everything gets lighter. Here's a trick that sounds silly but works shockingly well. Like, why didn't anyone teach me this in school? Well, I call it the NPC reset. Yes, like video games. Whenever you feel a wave of social anxiety or overthinking coming on, imagine the situation as if you just respawned in a game. Fresh moment. Zero history. No past dialogue choices. No, they think I'm weird because earlier I said shoes are for feet. You reset the scene. This visualization does two powerful things. 1. It snaps you out of the mental replay loop. If your brain is busy rewriting the last 5 minutes, you can't be present. But if you respawn, your brain gets a clean slate. The same trick it uses when you walk into a room and forget why you came. We're just weaponizing it. 2. It shifts you from self-judgment to curiosity. NPCs don't obsess. They don't remember your mistakes. They just react to what's happening right now. That's participation mode, not performance mode. To lock this into memory, create a simple cue. Whenever you touch your phone, glasses, watch, or even your sleeve, whisper internally. Reset. One word. One micro moment. Instant nervous system reboot. Use it at events, in conversations, or even mid-awkward sentence. You're not fixing the past. You're freeing the present. So here's the truth most people never realize. Social anxiety isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that your brain has been trying to protect you with outdated software. But now you know how to update it. You've seen how overthinking steals your freedom, how self-trust brings it back, and how tiny brave moments, not perfect conversations, build real confidence. And honestly, you don't need to transform overnight. You just need to show up 1% braver today than yesterday. That's it. That's how the whole thing changes. The awkward moments, they're not failures. They're training reps. Every silence you survive, every weird sentence you forgive yourself for, every micro discomfort you step into, that's you rewiring your brain. That's you becoming someone who doesn't freeze, doesn't overanalyze, doesn't perform, just lives. If you found this helpful and want more videos that break down complicated mind stuff into simple, oh, well, that makes sense now moments, you know what to do. Stick around. Subscribe if you want. Or watch another video. No pressure. We don't do pressure here. You're growing. You're learning. And most importantly, you're finally freeing yourself.